Hi everyone, welcome back to another thinking time. So, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna spend the thinking time on today. I'm just gonna kind of freeball it. That's an expression I can use here. I don't know. Essentially, I'm not sure what I want to think about, but I'm just gonna talk through some things that have happened and see where that leads me. So, yesterday, my girlfriend had a meltdown. And it's nothing unusual, especially since her exams today. It's pretty common for her to get stressed and have meltdowns in leading up to things she perceives as very important. But yesterday it was happening just as she was about to work out. And usually what I do when a meltdown happens is I tell her it's okay to stop. I tell her to go take a bath, go relax for a bit. Just feel better. Essentially, like, usually what we do is I help her just calm down short term. And then we deal with the... I don't have an enchanting table yet. Then we deal with the, I don't want to say consequences. But then we deal with, like, the exam or whatever it is. When she's calmed down, prep for the exam. Usually she's the one who cooks, I do the dishes. Maybe I take over the cooking chore and the dishes chore just so she can focus on preparing for the exam. Usually I just try to make it so as easy for her as possible. Try to remove anything that might... Oh my god, no thank you. Try to get rid of anything that seems challenging or difficult, and then hope that she can focus on the things that are most important. And I guess that works out fine a lot of the time. My usual problem with that method is that it doesn't solve anything long term. It just fixes it short term, and then the next time there's anything, we do the same thing. And the next time there's a problem again, we do the same thing, and then it doesn't... Nothing gets better. And it's not always the perfect short-term solution either, because... Do I have, yeah. Many times she'll not get much done that day because she loses all of her energy from the meltdown or the panic attack. And then she won't, like, do preparation for school and stuff, and then she didn't feel prepared next day, and it's a giant mess, right? It's not always a good solution. So yesterday, I wanted to try something else. Because, to be entirely honest, I'm pretty tired of having to be the one who says, okay, I'll do the dishes, or okay, I'll take care of dinner, okay, I'll make the decision. And it makes sense. I mean, she needs the help. Where? Asshole. So I guess I shouldn't complain that I have to take the decisions every once in a while when stuff like this happens, because that's how I help her. I don't know. What I tried instead yesterday then was to push her a bit, to try and get her to do the bare minimum exercise wise, so that at the very least I didn't and she didn't feel like she gave up. We're talking just do the first exercise on your list, or do the easiest exercise on your list we went down to. But then she wouldn't, at that point that I suggested that, she was pretty pissed at me for trying to push her. Okay, so yeah, I tried to push her. I tried to challenge her, because she has this, in my perception, she has this problem where when she has a meltdown or when she has a hard time, she tells herself she has no energy to do anything. And then she uses that as an excuse to just not do things. And then because she doesn't do things, she doesn't get into flow, she doesn't get in momentum, and then she just gets nothing done. Then she gets annoyed that she's not really getting anything done, and she's getting stressed because now she has a lot more to do, and then it's not getting better. This is how things usually go in my mind. And so yesterday, I didn't just want to let her give up. Like, I didn't want to let her stop without at least trying a little harder. And she had tried, to her credit. She had gotten into workout clothes and she was ready on the mat. But then she just didn't do anything past that. She got the app ready, and that was it. And I could tell that was hard for her to do, but in the moment, to me, it just didn't feel like it would be enough for either her or for me to be satisfied. And so I wanted her to just do anything else. And the more I pushed her, the more she got pissed off at me. And the worse it got. And it got to the point where I suggested that she just at least sits down. Well, at least I finish working out, where she just is present for our workout routine. That, although I still feel like that's a good suggestion, at that point she was so angry at me that she just refused to listen to anything I said. And she was angry at me because her skin gets sensitive when this kind of stuff happens. Like, as in, No one and nothing should touch her as much as possible. This is pretty cool. And she claims to have told me this before, and I'm not gonna call her a liar. More than one. Oh. I just don't recall ever having been told this before. And so when she was telling me to not touch her, I was trying to, this was at the very start of this, I assumed she was joking, and so I just kept teasing her to fucking get out of bed so she could start, so we could work out, because I was waiting for her. We made an agreement, like she was tired when she got home. Well, yeah, okay. Exactly what happened. We got home, or she got home. She was ready to work out. I still had my things to do. Like, I have a scheduled plan. I'm trying to get on with my life. And this was at like 1 p.m. And so I'm like, can you at least wait 2 hours for me to finish this so at least I can seem like a productive and regular ass human being? And so she was reluctant but agreed. And then she went into bed. And then an hour passed, and now I was, at this point, I was just completely distracted, so I didn't feel I was getting anything out of it. So I'm like, okay, I'll work out, get back into the groove, work out, then shower, reset, and then get back into flow or something. And then she didn't have to wait for an extra hour. So I went into the bedroom and suggested we work out. But at this point, she had lost all her energy. She just felt too tired to do anything. So we agreed that she'd nap for an hour. We set a timer for an hour. And then when that hour passes, we go work out. And so an hour passed. And surprise, surprise, she still has no energy. And this honestly didn't come as a surprise to me, because this happens every time, almost. I'm exaggerating now. She didn't have any more energy. I'm being unfair. She after the nap, she was still didn't feel like working out, and so she was telling me, "Oh, hello," to not touch her. So I was poking her because she needs to get out of bed. We agreed on this. So we do it. Out of torches. Let's grab this and go. Okay. And so I'm poking at her. I'm pushing her a bit to try and get her out of bed so we can go work out as agreed upon. And because she's sensitive and telling me not to touch her, I assume she's joking. Apparently she wasn't. And so she just gets angry at me. And I am, of course, like, I'm just getting impatient with this, because here I am trying to, like, a lot of the time be the fucking adult who has to try and motivate her when I struggle with things myself. So I get up, I lift her out of bed, just like drag her out, kind of. And she gets up, and because of that, she gets the workout clothes on, she gets out, she gets the app ready and everything. So, of course, I am not omniscient. I won't know what would happen if I left her in bed. I'm pretty damn certain that she would not have gotten out of bed. I feel like it's a safe bet to say that if I'd left her, she would have not done anything. But I dragged her out, and she got out of bed, she got ready, and then we were at the point where now she just couldn't get the workout. Like, she couldn't start working out. And I started, and I assumed she might follow. When she saw me getting started, she would slowly start doing it as well. That didn't happen, so I stop and I try to help her get motivated. I try to help her get started. Nothing I did seem to help. Like, no matter what I did, it felt as though she was just getting more annoyed with me, less motivated. And so I fucking didn't know what to do. So her meltdown got worse and worse. She got, like, she started, yeah, the meltdown started. She was just standing there. I was trying to get her started, didn't work. At one point she just fled to the bathroom and locked the door. I then tried to wait and see if she would come out of her own. She didn't, so I went and knocked on the door. Which she did open. And then now we're in the bathroom arguing over why I'm trying to push. Well, like, she's telling me she's angry at me because I'm pushing her, and I'm telling her I need to push you because otherwise nothing's gonna get better. So now we're arguing over that. She didn't feel I'd listen. She didn't feel like I listened to her, which I suppose is fair because I assume she was joking with the touching thing. And I feel unappreciated because I feel like I always have to be the one who's the adult. Like, I'm always the one who, like, I barely feel like a functional human being myself, and yet I always feel like I both have to take care of her and myself when things like this happen. And I don't feel capable of that. But I have to do it. We were arguing over why she thinks her decision to. She was angry at me, so she didn't want to listen to me. And I was suggesting that she should just do any barely. I'm trying to lower the bar so much that it's like nothing for her to do. But because she was angry at me, she didn't want to listen to me. And now I feel unappreciated because I feel like this is the same thing that happens every time I try to help, no matter what I say. Nothing gets done because when things like this happen, she loses all faith in me and just doesn't. The only time she'll ever do what I ask her to when things like this happen, or listen to me, is when I'm telling her what she already thinks is the right thing to do. And this is every single time. And we've been together for over 5 years now, and I feel like there should be some faith that I have some kind of idea what helps her. But apparently there isn't, at least not in this situation. And so she's angry at me and I'm angry at her, and we're discussing, and she's telling me that her plan is that right now she can't think because of the meltdown, but she's trying to make a plan. And I'm telling her, if you can't think, how are you going to make a plan? And then I went with then I told her what I assume would then happen. And what she's going to do is she's going to, okay, I can't plan because I can't think. Okay. So I need to calm down. Okay, and then she's going to try and calm down. She's going to do that by lying in bed or taking a shower or taking a walk, and then, or all three of those. And then she's going to end up not having any energy and she won't get anything. And then she's going to use that as an excuse to not get anything done. And then by the end of the day, she's going to be annoyed and stressed because she didn't get anything done today. And so I told her, this is what's going to happen. This is what I believe is going to happen if you just give up on this. But if you do any minimal workout that you and I are both satisfied with, because I don't believe that you're satisfied with what you've done so far. If you just do minimum workout, if you do anything, at the very least, you'll have gotten energy from it, you'll have gotten momentum from it, and then you can just work off of that. But because she was angry at me, she didn't want to listen. And then she, eventually she told me she just didn't want my help. And that just pissed me off so much. Because I'm trying so hard. Because it's not easy for me. And so I just said fuck it, and I went to work out, and I fucking, and as I was working out, she apparently made the decision that she needed to go for a walk. And then as she was going out the door, I realized that I know she needs my help. At least that's what I believe. And so even though she tells me she doesn't want it, she needs it, and therefore I shouldn't just stop just because she tells me no. Does that make sense? I mean, I had a gut feeling that I needed to not just give up. In my head, I don't know if this makes sense or not, but in my mind, I felt that if I gave up now, I might, like, it's equivalent to giving up on any issues our relationship might have. And so I made a split-second decision to just follow her. On the walk, I put on some clothes quickly. I took my keys, I walked out the door and caught up with her. And then we just followed in silence. And I didn't know if I did the right thing. I was hoping I did the right thing. I was hoping following was the right thing to do. But I wasn't sure. And so we followed in silence, and I was trying to argue with I was trying to figure out if I did the right thing or not by following. And she was probably angry at me for following her. And then eventually she asked me, "Why are you following me?" And I told her the only answer I had, and I don't know if it's a good or the right answer, but I told her that if I, as I said before, if I give up now, because on like if I give up on helping you now, I might as well have given up on our relationship. And she accepted that, and we kept moving. We sat down at a lake, and then she started talking, and then we started talking. She got better. And in the end, things worked out. She didn't work out. I went home. I took a bath. She took a bath. I we made a plan dinner-wise so it'd be easy for her. She got some preparation done for her exam, and ended up with a fair bit of energy. And so, although things worked out in the end, I don't know if I made the right decisions along the way. And I don't know if I was right to push her, if I was wrong. And I still don't know. And I guess I don't know. I was hoping I'd figure something out by talking through the whole situation, but I'm still as unclear as I was before. One thing I realized after yesterday was that I tell myself that I tried to help her, and that I tried to understand her, but at the same time, I haven't looked into any of these things because the meltdowns and the anxiety attacks and panics attacks and stuff like that, they come from she has Asperger's. And so I tell myself that I tried to understand her and help her. But yesterday I realized that at the same time, I haven't done like barely any research into these things. And so I guess I'm just kidding myself. Like maybe I don't care. I don't know. And even after realizing that, I don't feel like I have to go research it instantly. So man, I don't fucking know. They eat bamboo. Is that what I feed them? Aw, so cute. I don't know anything you can do with pandas, but this is cute. Um, So yeah, that's what happened yesterday. I don't know what the point of this was, but there it is. Let's go to the nether, I guess. Um how much time is left? Still 20 minutes left. I don't know, is there a conclusion I can draw from this? I don't know. I guess I need to do more research. The conclusion I can draw. But weird. Weird. Hmm. I don't know, I still feel like it was okay to push her. Still feel like my logic makes sense. But at least I learned that she doesn't want to get touched, which I did not honestly realize. Uh, what else is there? I mean, a lot of the time it feels like rearing, like dealing with a child. In that you know what's best for them, but they refuse to do it. And so I guess I can look into autism techniques and child uh, raising techniques and stuff. I don't know. Holy fuck. That was close. Life is tough, right? We all have problems. I woke up late today because of what happened yesterday. We decided to watch a movie after bed when we went to bed at 10, and then we watched Ocean's 11. And it was cool, but we ended up then falling asleep at 12. Which means I didn't wake up at my 6, which I want to. And then I only ended up being done with everything and ready to record this and other stuff at 10-ish. And I have work later today. So at 14:30 I have to stop being productive and get ready for work. And I don't know, I'm trying so hard to change my life, but everything just feels like it's getting in my way. And then today feels like a shit day where I'm not gonna get nothing done. And so, I mean, at least I got this doing, and then I can probably do one more thinking time after this, and then we'll see after that. And I'll just try and get as much done as possible, but days like this make me question whether I'm doing the right thing. Like, is HGC right for me? Should I just give up? Is my willpower so bad that no matter what I do, I won't be able to be an entrepreneur or a closer because I don't have the discipline for it? Should I just go be a fucking employee? Like, go forget everything else? I don't know. I mean, okay, I don't want to. Okay, we can start thinking. We can discuss this, I guess. I don't think I've ever really thought about this very much. I always told myself I want to be an entrepreneur. Because I'm not suited to be an employee. Like, I feel like I need to be the boss because I feel like I can do a better job than most of the bosses I've had. And if a boss is bad, I just like, it does not. I am way too upfront about it. Like, I will challenge the boss. I will step on their toes if I like have to, because if I feel like I have to, because if they're shit boss, I'll fucking let them know. Like, I'm not gonna lie down and take shit from someone else. That's never been who I am. Yeah, I guess we start thinking this through and we can continue it. One thing's for certain, I don't want to go back to school. And the reason for that is very simple. Do and always have hated school. Primary school, high school. The 3 semesters of my bachelor's in data science, I hated. Sometimes it works out when it's like the first month of school. I can be motivated because I'm thinking about where this is going to lead me, but sitting in a classroom having someone tell me all sorts of stuff and then giving me homework, I've never been able to do that. Just deal with this fucker. Thank you. I've always been the kind of student who school came easy to, and I made all the I prepped the exam last second, I did homework last second. Everything was always just last moment for me. Like in I don't remember what it's called. Never mind. I've always done things the night before or the day before and stuff like that. And I still got good grades. I mean, I got above average grades. I think, yeah. Like average, above average. And that's with minimal effort and minimal time for it. And so because of that, I always felt like I am smarter and better than most people, in that these people take a lot of time and preparation and they prepare things so well and they get the same grades as me. And it's a part of it is that I work really well under pressure. At least that's what I learned from this, if it, assuming it's not natural. So homework's never been a thing for me. Like, I've never been able to do it. I've never been able to find the motivation to do these. I don't know, it just feels weird. I don't like doing homework, but why? I guess it felt pointless. Like I've had since that. I think the reason I've had a tough time in school and with homework might be because it feels pointless to me. Ow. Fine. As in, I feel like, oh, this say Danish homework is read this book, or and then write a report on it, and I'm like, what's the point? What, like, why do I have to do this? What do I get out of it? I know I can read. You're trying to get me to read better. Why? Stuff like that, right? So I've struggled to see the purpose, and I assume you could say that I've probably also struggled to see the purpose of school in general. I mean, you know, some of the purpose, like math, like the early grades where you learn math and you learn to speak and spell and all that. That makes sense. But then you get on to history or Danish later on, where you're just doing analyses of stories and stuff. Now I've now gotten an appreciation for history and story analysis and looking at symbolism in stories and stuff. I've learned to appreciate that. But as a kid, I didn't. And so I didn't want to do the homework and I didn't pay attention in class because I didn't feel like there was a point. And I guess you could say that's where some of the arrogance comes in, because You could relate this over to the thing with my girlfriend, in that she thinks she knows what's best for her. I believe I know what's best for her, but she doesn't want to listen to me, right? Is that not the same thing happening here, where I, as a kid, feel like I know what I need to know, right? I have this assumption that, oh, I don't need history. I don't need to learn symbolism in literature. It's all pointless. I don't need to know this. And so I was arrogant enough to assume that I knew what I needed to know. Does that make sense? Seems kind of... I assumed I was clever and intelligent enough to sort out the information I needed and the information I didn't need. So I could tell, oh, I don't need history, and I don't need symbolism, and I don't need this. And to some extent that makes sense, because schools are institutionalized, and they're generalized, and they're teaching things for the masses, not for the individual. So, I mean, the schools and the teachers don't necessarily know better, because... I mean, even if my teacher believed I didn't need to know history, like, they still have to teach me it. So there's some argument to be made that school doesn't always teach you everything or only the things you need to know, right? You do learn a lot of useless shit in school. But then when it comes to university, that's where the student essentially gets the freedom to choose, right? You choose a degree, and with that degree comes the classes that you need for it. And you have more freedom in what classes you take and what you don't, and stuff like that, and what courses you want to take. So it seems that this problem should be solved with university, and that I now get to choose. I have the freedom. I do only what, at least to some extent, I do only what I feel like I should be doing. And yet I still struggled when I did go to university. And so why was that? Well, over time I started to doubt whether or not I was in the right, like, bachelor's. I started to doubt whether this bachelor's would lead me into a career I wanted to be in. So you could definitely say that that might have had some impact. I don't know, it always went well for like a few months or a few weeks at the start of the year. Because then I've had a break and I get my motivation back, and then it just stops. It's the right way. Don't know, but there's a ghast. So is that the only answer? Is it just that my doubt stopped me from being a good student in university? I was certainly a better student. So I guess. I mean, what else? It doesn't feel like the whole story though. But what else could it be? It could just be a general lack of discipline. Like, who's to say? Maybe I was motivated. Or well, homework is still boring. And so doing the homework, I didn't have the self-discipline and the willpower to actually do it, even though I had to at least to some extent felt like I had to. More so than I had previously in school. Hope I know where I'm going. Not look like I know where I'm going. So then you could maybe say that it's just a lack of discipline. It's just a lack of willpower to keep going even though it's tough and boring. But then the right answer is to learn self-discipline and willpower and then go back into school and become an employee again. But I don't feel like then we get on to why am I fit for being an employee? Am I not fit for being an employee? Should I try to be my own boss or should I work for someone else? The times I have it's easiest for me to get stuff done when I'm on time pressure or I am in an environment that promotes work and I am responsible for someone else. Like I've always had a tough time doing homework. But whenever I've, say, had a job, I haven't struggled with doing my job at the job. That's never been tough. I've maybe grumbled and been annoyed that I had to go to work. But I've always been one of the best employees at my jobs because when I'm working, I am working. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? When I work, and so it's always been the easy part for me. Because I'm in the cinema, I have a list of stuff to go through and I just go through it. I just do it one by one in a somewhat efficient order. And when in the restaurant I worked at, I just go through the stuff. And now at the retail store, I put wares in place. I just do stuff. I just keep working. Of course, I also socialize with my coworkers because everyone does that. But I also believe that I usually get more done than the average person in such a workplace. Is this the right way? Not feel like the right way. So what is the difference between work and school? Well, to some extent, there's the I've always made the my previous assumption has always been that it's the responsibility part. When I'm at work, I am given these responsibilities and other people are relying on me to get it done. And so I do it because no one else will. But then at my retail store now, putting wares in place, I'm not, like, I could not do that. And someone else would probably do it. Usually I'm just the first there. So maybe that isn't the answer. Environment? I did say that word before. And Dan Locke in a video recently talked about willpower and self-discipline. Not like very few people have proper self-discipline, so it's not something you should try and work on. Instead, you should do these other things. And one of the things he mentioned was get into an work environment that promotes work. Like get friends that help you get started. Be in an office. I guess that makes sense. Because maybe. Okay, so that makes sense in that when I'm at work, I work. That could be credited to environment helping that happen. But then and it also explains homework to some extent in that homework is done at home, and so it's not an environment that I associate with a work. It's my home. So I do home. Like I do home stuff. I have fun, I play games, whatever. I'm so lost. Hold on, I'm gonna find the picture, the screenshot I took. One thing that a counterpoint to that 2,600 1,500. Okay, a counterpoint to that is that during my university stuff, my bachelor's, I would sometimes stay at school in between courses and try to be productive and be like, I'd sit down in the university with my laptop and try to do homework. And even that, oh hello, even that wouldn't work. I'd end up watching videos, and I tried to be productive in the bus, or in the train rather. And that didn't usually work either, because I'd end up watching videos or stuff. It's like doing random stuff instead, procrastinating. And if school isn't a work environment, like if the university itself isn't an environment that promotes me to do schoolwork, then what the hell is? Alright, time's up, so we'll continue this next time. Thank you for listening to my rants. If you have anything to add, then there's the comments, there's the like or dislike. Interaction's always fun.